The recent GST reforms have impacted the entire automotive industry. But when it comes to the commercial vehicle industry, the impact could be slightly different, or rather in multiple ways compared to the other segments. Tell us more about it and what the road ahead for the commercial vehicle industry. I have with us Shenu Agarwal, Managing Director of Commercial Vehicle Major, Ashok Leyland. Shenu, thanks for spending your time.
Thank you.
So we were discussing about this a little while earlier, saying that unlike the two-wheeler segment or the passenger vehicle segment, the commercial vehicle segment, the impact could be more it manifested in more ways compared to the other segments. Can you just share?
Yes. I believe so because, see, I think most of the people are just looking at the price cuts, right? And definitely that's a big boost. Yeah. I mean, for commercial vehicle sector, our average prices are higher because we make bigger vehicles. So, I mean, even 10% cut from 28 to 18 would mean like at least 3, 4, 5 lakhs of savings, which is substantial. So, so that is one. Related to that point is also we were saying that the aging of the MHCV fleets in our country is at its all-time high. And there's a lot of argument around this, that whether this is because of the tonnage or something else, right? But I think we were all agreeing on one point that this needs some kind of a positive trigger for that replacement demand to unleash. Because the fact of the matter is there are still a huge number of BS3, BS4 and even BS2 trucks in the country which are on the roads, right? And we do understand also that a BS6 truck is much more efficient than a BS4 or BS3, right? And therefore, fleet owners also know this, that it is better to operate a BS6 truck than a BS3 or BS4. But I think they were just waiting for this trigger, right? That something needs to be done so that this customer would come out and say, okay, I'll sell this old truck for 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs or scrap it. And then I will buy a new one for 40 lakhs or so.
So GST 2.0 is that trigger, you think?
Could be that trigger. But that is one point, and that is a smaller point. That is what the overall industry is, how it is looking at it. We are looking at even a bigger trigger in the way that price drop is one thing. But what this will do, the GST reform, is because it is not a single sector reform. It is a multi-sector reform. It is touching every business. It is touching every consumer almost in the country. And therefore, the consumption should go up.
The impact on the economy, therefore.
The impact on the economy.
Okay.
So when the consumption goes, you have more toothpaste to be carried, you have more biscuits to be carried, more bikes to be carried, everything more to be carried, right? And therefore you need more freight, more trucks, right? I think this factor is even bigger than the factor of the price drop. But both in combination could do the magic, right? On one side, price getting down, on the other side, demand going up, right? So I think this is a very big move. However, I would just say that our industry is not a sentimental industry. So don't expect that on 23rd September we'll be out of stocks.
And then October onwards, we will have a spike.
So I think our customers are very rational customers. They buy trucks for generating a revenue, generating a living, and therefore they will take a very calculated and thoughtful decision. It's not that they will just rush out on 23rd September and buying out, right? So, but you will see the impact coming in October, November, December onwards, right? When the people would redo their calculations, redo their business models and say, yes, now it makes sense to buy a new truck.
So at the industry level, what kind of growth do you
See,
expect?
it is a little bit difficult to quantify, little difficult to quantify, but I would say definitely the prospects would be much better than what we previously thought.
And also this, the aging fleet you said, of average of 10 years or so, which is again more than what the earlier average was, right? Earlier was about 7, 8 years or so?
7 to 8, yes.
So that population would be how big? I mean,
it's huge. I don't want to give you wrong numbers, but I think it is somewhere between 11 to 12 lakh units, right? So all this trigger, if it really becomes a reality, it could impact that 11 lakhs. Not that all those 11 lakhs will buy tomorrow, right? But it will really give them a lot of incentive to replace their older fleet.
And on the electric side, I mean, for the EV industry, I think it's a case of no news is good news because the GST remains the same.
Yes.
But having said that, yes, the price differential increases because ICE vehicles go down. But perhaps it may not be a big matter of concern for CV industry because the absolute number will not be much when it comes because the bigger ticket size.
So the difference between the price of a EV and price of a diesel is so much, so wide
Yeah.
that little bit variation here or there will not really impact the balance, right? I mean, in other segments it may, right? But here, I mean, we are talking about a 40 lakh truck versus a crore 20 lakh truck, right? So if this 40 becomes 36, I mean, that the equation doesn't change, right? The equation of EV is very different. The equation of EV is not about the upfront cost right now. Yeah, I mean, of course, the upfront cost will come down as we go, right? But right now, the equation is largely on the TCO because the EV truck will save a truck owner 40 to 60% on the operating cost. So that is the equation.
Yes. And also talking about EVs, the recent your announcement of a strategic partnership with CLB, that is also kind of it reflects your long-term strategy of preparing for the long journey in the EV sector.
Definitely.
So tell us about it, and this first step would lead to what will be the next logical step that you would like to take?
Listen, we are very clear on this entry into the battery space. We think that this is the right time to get into the battery space, although a lot of people sometimes tell us that you should wait and let the EV adoption becomes larger and all that. But we know for a fact, I'll give you an example. Like for the diesel truck, our import content is 2%. Whatever happens around the world, we are protected. China, US tariffs, FTA, no FTA with Europe doesn't matter too much to us. We are very well protected. And when it comes to EV, 60 to 70% of the content is imported. The 60 to 70% of the capability, therefore, is imported. Right? If capability resides outside India. Now, if this has to really become a reality, we have to take certain steps. We just can't say, oh, we have a great powertrain and a great truck, right? With 60%, 70% of the parts coming from outside. We just can't say that, right? Although, I mean, people will start buying, people will start experimenting.
And that will not be aligned to that Atmanirbhar Bharat mission also.
Yeah, that too. So therefore, what is the second step? After you have matured the powertrain, what do you do now? You create a very resilient supply chain. Now, resilience in today's world, in today's geopolitical world, does not necessarily mean you shift from China to US or shift US to Europe and Europe to some other country. Resilience, long-term resilience means that you have to localize. To localize, you have to develop capability. There is no capability in the EV aggregate space right now. Right? It will take time to develop that capability. So our philosophy is enter early, but go slow. Take step-by-step approach, but build the capability alongside. It's not about manufacturing packs. I mean, that we can do any day, right? But it is more about developing capability around it so we can innovate, we can learn the technology, we can master the technology, we can improve the technology over a period of time.
And the CLB arrangement, it's not exclusive to, I mean, this arrangement not exclusive only to CLB, or would you be open to have more partners?
CLBs is exclusive to us.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we have ensured for India.
I see. Okay, and but you are open to having any other?
We can look at other partners as well.
Okay. And talking about the EV part, your own EV business of Switch Mobility, you are moving towards heading towards profitability. At what stage are you in terms of, let's say, achieving the net profit levels?
Yeah, so I think very soon, because last year we wanted to become EBITDA positive, which we did, and this year in Q1 itself we are PBT positive. We have a very strong order pipeline. We are looking at cost very well. We are trying to manage this company very frugally now. We are also trying to integrate it with Ashok Leyland as far as sourcing is concerned, or even some technology development is concerned. I am very, very hopeful that we will become net profit positive this year.
This year. Okay. On that note, wishing you and your team all the very best.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking.
Thank you very much.